Austin Russell, better known as Chumlee on Pawn Stars, is in jail tonight. The Las Vegas courtroom was tense as the judge read the final verdict. Austin Chumlee Russell, unable to handle the weight of his fate, collapsed in shock, sending shock waves through the courtroom and leaving everyone in stunned silence. What caused the intense emotions in the courtroom and led to the shocking confrontation between the beloved reality TV star and the justice system? If you found this story interesting, please like, share, and leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get daily updates on the newest news and most interesting stories. Stay tuned. Chumlee, the popular star of Pawn Stars, has become one of reality TV's most entertaining personalities. Known for his humor, laid-back attitude, and unique ability to make every episode of the hit channel show seem real. His career has lasted over a decade. Chumlee's legacy goes far beyond television. His impact on the collectibles market, his role in boosting the fame of gold and silver pawn shops, and his deliberate efforts to build a personal brand show how he went from working in a pawn shop to becoming a cultural phenomenon and television icon. Chumlee's rise to fame was rooted in his ability to play video games. He was cast as the comedic character of the shop, but he refused to be typecast. Instead, he focused on learning specific collectibles, which made him an important part of the Pawn Stars cast and earned him a place in fans' hearts, making him a breakout star of the show. But what really makes him stand out is his ability to connect with viewers through genuine emotion. His lasting impact reached audiences across the country, making him a household name outside of TV. His business ventures show how strategic he was as he successfully built his own brand. Chumlee's personal brand, which he built through ventures like a candy clothing line and personal appearances, helped him make millions of dollars. This wealth later paid for his legal defense against shocking accusations that shook his loyal fan base. After Pawn Stars' success, both the show and Chumlee's career took off. Pawn Stars went in a lot of different directions. After its premiere, it became one of the most popular shows on cable TV, with over 500 episodes and streaming online. It continued to blend its signature formula with high production value, making it one of the most educational entertainment shows on reality TV. Meanwhile, Chumlee dealt with the problems that come with fame. People quickly took to the likable character they saw on TV, and his public appearances drew big crowds, showing how popular he was. There were tensions between Chumlee's on-screen persona and his growing personal problems that lasted for years. "I've lived two completely different lives," he said. "Fame has a way of making you feel invincible. I was determined to enjoy every moment, especially when people recognized me everywhere I went." There was a clear contrast between Chumlee's career success and his rising personal luxury. While Pawn Stars stayed focused on historical items and negotiations, Chumlee's personal life grew with luxury cars, a mansion, and a huge collection of sneakers and jewelry. His social media posts about his shopping sprees got millions of views, creating a public image that was very different from his earlier, more humble beginnings in the mid-2010s. Pawn Stars reached its peak viewership with special episodes that drew over 7 million viewers. At the same time, Chumlee's personal brand grew, with the opening of Chumlee's Candy Shop on Las Vegas Street and the success of his Behind the Scenes product line. However, the pressures of fame began to weigh heavily on him, threatening to ruin his career. Chumlee often blamed the sudden change from anonymity to fame for his problems, saying, "I went from being an ordinary guy to someone who couldn't go to Walmart without." In a rare honest interview, he said, "Taking 500 photos drove me crazy. I turned to things to help me deal, and it almost cost me everything." The personal chaos he was going through was very different from how professional the show was becoming. By 2016, the gap between his public persona and private reality had grown so large. While Pawn Stars continued to plague Chumlee as the likable character fans loved, His life was taking troubling turns that his years of getting more and more reckless eventually got him in trouble with the law. In March 2016, police raided his home in Las Vegas, which was first connected to an investigation into a sexual assault. Executed a search warrant as part of an ongoing investigation. Officer Rodriguez said in a press conference, which quickly spread through entertainment news outlets. What they found during the search led to new charges that had nothing to do with the original investigation. The raid quickly became a website speculated on how it might affect both Chumlee and the future of Pawn Stars. A week later, TMZ reported shocking details. Guns, drugs, and drug paraphernalia were found at Chumlee's home. This was very different from the happy persona viewers had grown to love. It was also very different from the humble character fans had seen on TV. One fan wrote in a social media post that this situation has changed how people see Chumlee. If these stories interest you, click the subscribe button. Don't miss any of our videos, and don't forget to share these shocking stories with your friends and family so that you can all learn from them together. Let us know what you think about changing yourself through plastic surgery in the comments. Chumlee never seemed like someone with these kinds of problems on the show. The big difference between his public and private life seemed to be the tipping point. In the weeks that followed, prosecutors built a case and filed multiple felony charges against the reality TV star, including possession of firearms and drugs. If found guilty on all charges, Chumlee could face up to 20 years in prison. The accusations not only had serious legal consequences, but they also posed a serious threat to her carefully crafted public image. The legal actions shook the entertainment industry, threatening the foundation of Chumlee's entire career and financial success. Experts thought this could be the end of one of the most famous reality TV personalities. Court records revealed. Evidence records showed that police found a lot of different kinds of weapons at Chumlee's house, including assault rifles, as well as drugs and other related items. However, there was a big twist. The initial search was based on an investigation into alleged sexual assault. No charges were filed for the alleged sexual assault because there wasn't enough evidence, but Chumlee's lifestyle posed a serious threat to public safety, so he was charged. A document suggested the harshest punishments based on the number and types of items found on the first day of the trial, which made things tense. As Chumlee walked into the courtroom, camera flashes lit up his sad face. His Pawn Stars co-stars were noticeably missing, and the TV star who had entertained millions was now facing the legal consequences of his actions. Your Honor, the prosecutor began. This case involves serious violations of controlled substance and firearms laws. Photos of the seized items showed that the defendant's home had a lot of illegal drugs and weapons. The tension in the courtroom rose as the photos played on the screen. Chumlee, who could be seen staring at the floor, shook his head as particularly damaging evidence was shown during the interrogation, making the already tense situation even worse. Chumlee's lawyer asked the officer, "Were you saying that Mr. Russell was running a drug distribution operation?" Officer confidently replied that the substances found were not for personal use, but he did admit that he did not find scales, packaging materials, or a distribution list that are usually found with drug trafficking. Tensions in the courtroom rose during the testimony about the weapons. Do you agree that Mr. Russell is a well-known collector of various items, including historical weapons? Chumlee's lawyer asked. Collecting requires a license and proper storage. Turley, the weapons expert, replied, adding another layer of, as the judge reminded Chumlee to stay quiet unless called to the witness stand. He was clearly nervous and whispering to his lawyer. Legal experts spoke about the possible sentencing guidelines, stressing that these charges usually carry harsh prison sentences. Former attorney James Wilson said that the combination of firearms and controlled substances made the situation even worse. Chumlee's defense focused on the fact that he had never been in trouble with the law before and said that his fame had made him less likely to do so. His lawyer said that his celebrity status had made it harder to tell the difference between what was normal and what was excessive. His client was caught up in the whirlwind of excess, which clouded his judgment. He also said that he never meant to hurt anyone and had been a public figure with good character in many ways. As the trial neared its end, fans watched with growing concern. This wasn't just a legal battle, it was the possible fall of a beloved TV personality whose appeal was based on his likable and harmless persona. Plea bargaining became a big part of the trial, with lawyers from both sides having tense conversations as they thought about possible solutions. The case had consequences beyond Chumlee's personal freedom, as he could go to prison for years. It also had effects on his career, with estimates of millions of dollars in damages, a ruined reputation, and an uncertain future on Pawn Stars no matter what happened. On the last day, the courtroom was packed with Pawn Stars fans, some holding supportive signs and others wearing Pawn Stars gear. The mood was electric as Judge Michael Davidson led the proceedings. Chumlee was getting ready for sentencing after pleading guilty in the state case against him. The judge started the proceedings by carefully reviewing the plea deal that the prosecution and defense had agreed to, weighing both the mitigating and aggravating factors. The room was so quiet that you could hear the papers rustling. During the hearing, Chumlee stood with his hands slightly trembling at his sides. The defendant pleaded guilty to one charge related to firearms and one charge related to a minor drug offense. The judge then announced that remaining charges were dropped as part of the agreement. Chumlee's face stayed tense as his lawyers exchanged cautious glances. However, the court had to address the seriousness of the offenses. The judge made it clear that possession of illegal substances and unregistered concerns about public safety were raised by firearms. The ruling made it clear that Chumlee would be sentenced to 3 years of probation, during which he would have to go through counseling and regular drug tests. All the items that were seized during the raid would also be taken away. But what really shocked people was the part that said if he broke the rules of his probation, he would automatically get 3 years in prison without having to go through another hearing. The court accepted the plea deal with these conditions, and the judge then said, "Mr. Russell, you are hereby sentenced to 3 years in prison. Years of probation with strict compliance supervision. Any violation will result in immediate incarceration for 3 years. Do you understand these terms? In reality, this was a big blow to Chumlee after months of trouble, especially since he could have spent decades in prison. This moment marked a major turning point in his life. Instead of feeling bad, he felt relieved when he realized how close he was to losing everything, and that his freedom now depended on perfect compliance. His face turned pale, and beads of sweat formed on his forehead as the judge read the full conditions. The defendant also had to do 200 hours of community service. The judge's voice got muffled by the roaring in Chumlee's ears, and the courtroom started to spin. His lawyer quickly realized something was wrong and put a firm hand on his arm, but it wasn't enough to keep him from falling. The reality TV star who had entertained millions of people suddenly fell down. Forward security rushed to his side as his labored breathing echoed through the courtroom. The TV star, whose career was built on his carefree attitude, was now unconscious in court as the world watched him pass out from a panic attack. A medical staff member called out, pushing through the crowd to make room, and someone grabbed water as the medical team rushed in. Photographers caught the chaotic scene, which quickly made headlines around the world. Chumlee, the beloved Pawn Stars star, was being treated in court. Rick Harrison's emotional battle with the law finally showed in his body. Outside of court, he was seen briefly visiting a coworker and friend, while fans gathered in groups to show their shock at the dramatic end of the case. The medical drama quickly overshadowed the legal verdict, as fans flooded entertainment websites and social media with worried posts, updates, and supportive messages for Harrison. 3 days later, Chumlee released a video statement from his home. He was still shaking but had his trademark smile back on. "Facing the consequences of my actions seems to have triggered my anxiety," he said in a weak attempt at humor. "Doctor says I need to make better choices, and I know he's right. Concern for his health seemed to cause a fundamental change in Chumlee's public persona. In a surprising turn, the History Channel took action. The network reportedly wanted him to stay on the show after he got better. An anonymous source said that they saw his legal problems as a chance for a real redemption storyline. However, official representatives would not confirm future plans or comment on specific arrangements. In his next statement, Chumlee took a more serious tone. "I let my reputation cloud my judgment. I made mistakes that could have cost me everything," he said, "and I promise my fans I won't waste it," Chumlee said. The entertainment world was buzzing with rumors about what might happen next. This legal battle had changed his path, and as a well-known reality TV star, people were drawn to stories of redemption. Chumlee now had a real story to tell the media. People noticed that he seemed focused on his legal business ventures while following all court rules. Fans flooded social media with supportive messages about his case. When asked directly about his return to TV, neither Chumlee nor the network gave a specific date. Chumlee gave a thoughtful response. "Right now I'm focused on being healthy and making better decisions. The show has been my family for many years, and I hope to make them proud again." The legal battle, which was once seen as the possible end of his career, turned out to be a turning point. Interest in Pawn Stars remained strong, with many fans supporting Chumlee. For people who have watched Chumlee go from being an unknown pawn shop worker to a TV star, this courtroom drama is a stark reminder of the problems that come with fame. The man's collapse, which left viewers stunned, wasn't just him reaching his breaking point. It could also be the start of a more honest public persona coming out from behind the carefree character. What do you think about how fame affects personal judgment?